Hey everyone, and welcome to the Friday edition of World Sports Daily. We are coming to you live, and Amedeus will be with us soon. Sean will join us from Barcelona, where he is today. Later today, Barcelona will be hosting Manchester United in one of the key games on today's docket. Plenty of stuff to talk about with the games that we have to play, and also with the situations going on the PGA Tour. So we got lots to talk about, and we'll get to it. Let's, as I said, we're waiting for Amedeus to join us, and also for Sean to be around. So both are on their way, so not to worry. Any early questions from the group up there? Okay. Rory McIlroy, by the way, got the best odds to win in Los Angeles at the event there, the Genesis Invitational. And Tiger Woods played yesterday in Pro-Am. Weather was not good in Los Angeles. It was windy, it was cold, and it was a tough day for Tiger, even in the Pro-Am. So fun stuff going on there. Guys, hang with me. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. Anyway, let's take a look at today's games, and we'll get Amadeus and Sean's ideas on what they think. Now, all of these games that I'm about to tell you about, if you're here in the United States, they are on Paramount Plus. You can also get them on Fubo, and also, obviously, if you're in the UK, you can watch it on Sky. So it's Barcelona versus Manchester United. That's a 12:45 game. Same time, Shelter Dorsky versus Rennes, Ajax versus Berlin. Those are all 12:45 starts, as is Salzburg versus Roma. At 3:05, we get the 3 o'clock starts, we get Juventus and Nats. You got Sporting GP versus Milliard, Bayer Leverkusen versus Monaco, and Seville versus PSV. So those are the games, and some very entertaining ones to be sure. Let's talk about also the UEFA Europa Champions Conference, and that's you've got Kazanpur versus Basel, Bode versus the winner of Lech versus Perlet, Sporting versus Florentine, Lazio versus CFR, and AK Lawrence versus Dippo. So quite a few games going on. As a matter of fact, this is a big day in UEFA Europe League. So plenty of stuff going on there. Let's talk a little bit about who we can expect to play well today in the Genesis Invitational. As I said, John Rahm actually has moved up to the top spot. John Rahm is the top get at -180. -200 is Rory McIlroy. -240 is Scotty Scheffler. Xander Schauffele is at 360. -350 is also Tony Finau. Justin Thomas is at 360 minus. You got Max Horma at -40 at -400. Excuse me. You got Colin Morikawa at +400. You've got Victor Hovland at +500, and also +500. You've got Patrick Cantlay. So plenty of names are on the board. Here's Amedeus joining us. Hang on, I'll put him in. Amedeus, good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. It's been a busy morning. How's it going?
Can't hear you. Can you hear me
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me now?
speaking?
Okay, hold on.
Let's try this again. Can you hear me now? Can
I can hear you. Can you
There
hear
you
me?
go.
Okay.
We got you. So we're good now.
All right. I guess
Whatever
my
poltergeist was out there is gone.
my mic probably wasn't plugged in all the way.
Hey, I've done that way too many times. So we're just going through the games today. There's a lot of good games, and of course, Sean is over there with Barcelona and Manchester United. Hopefully, we'll see him pop up here sometime, probably from the beach with a margarita in his hand. Now, wait a minute. Now, that's a 12:45 start, right?
Yeah, there's some early
I'm sorry.
starts there.
So he's yeah, that's 6 hours. So yeah, he's probably at the venue right now.
Yeah, they put all the good ones at 12:45, and then
Right,
all the
to
three
drive you
o'clock.
nuts.
Yeah, all the 3 o'clock is just garbage.
Well, here in the States, every one of those are streamed on, all of them are streamed on Paramount Plus. So you just go in, pick which one you want, and watch it. So there's that. So we'll be watching plenty to watch today. And also, we've got the odds for today's Genesis Invitation.
Oh, the Genesis invitation.
Yeah. Tiger had a tough day yesterday.
Did
The
what?
the
Yesterday was
weather.
what, practice though, right?
Oh yeah, it was
No.
just pro am. So you're gonna pro ams. You don't really gauge it anything other than get out, get some swings, stay hot, and try desperately not to get in trouble.
Pretty much.
Yeah, stay injured.
Learn the layout, learn where you want to hit your
All right.
ball on each hole.
I will say, Tiger did something yesterday, which was incredibly incredibly good, and that basically was he he drove a ball about 375 yards, but it went literally just buried it in the sand. So it was one of those good news, bad news things. The shot was brilliant. The landing was not where you wanted it to be.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck fishing that one out.
Yeah, right now in Los Angeles, the weather's 39 degrees with a 12-mile-an-hour wind. My guess is over by the ocean where they're playing, it's probably a little bit windier than 12 miles an hour. The high today is supposed to be 66, so that should be a good omen for what's coming up for the weekend. We got 66 today, 69 tomorrow's the high, 71 and 70. Typical Los Angeles weather in the month of February returns after a brief cold snap, but for sure they're going to have pretty decent weather over the weekend. Not a lot of opportunity because it doesn't rain that much in Southern California, but it will be sunny and temperate over on Riviera at that venue for the next few days. So there you go. That's what to look forward to. We already mentioned that Tiger won't be teeing off today until 3 o'clock Eastern time. So plenty of time to get ready for that one. You can watch it between games.
Yeah, when all my good 12:45 games are done, and then all the
Right.
garbage starts at
Yeah,
3.
you can pick which garbage one you want to watch.
Exactly. Do I want to watch Tiger or the other games I don't care about?
Right, right. So we got you want to run down? We got Barcelona, Manchester United. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so that's obviously probably the big fixture of the match. Which again, I don't know why they would put it at 12:45 because it's probably like your biggest game. You have
Right.
you
You
have
want
a
to find
top 4 team in the Premier League and the team that's literally leading La Liga right now.
right.
So yeah, it's one of those where I don't know why they scheduled it at 12:45, but it is what it is. They're gonna play the game. I think I know Sean's not too optimistic about his team today. I'm not either. I don't think they're as good as Barcelona. Barcelona this year in La Liga alone, they have allowed like 6 goals in 20 matches or something around that. But
Did
I
they
forget.
build a stone wall in front of the
That's
goal?
that's what I mean. Like I've never seen so like I've seen it in the smaller leagues. You'll see
Right.
like a team in Georgia destroy
Right.
the rest of the league and they allow like 3 goals all a year in 20 something matches. But this is La Liga.
Right.
Okay, you got like Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, all these other Sociedad, Real Betis, Villarreal, and you're only giving up 6 goals in more than half of the season. So
Well, yeah. To your point on that, I mean, Barcelona has always been famous for the brilliant strikers they've had.
exactly, and they have another one too in Lewandowski.
Yeah. So they haven't been known as necessarily as a defensive team, but you put that defense first along with their ability to score, it does make for a long day for the opposition.
Yeah, I will say like they have a lot of good attacking players and very very strong attack, but their defense is better. They're more defensively sound than they can create chances for themselves. They've been winning games. Like it's not a scoring's not a problem for them, but even in games where they only score 1 goal, they still find a way to win because they don't give up goals. So very tough team to beat. And if you're a Man United fan like Sean, well, enjoy the game, buddy. Enjoy the sun. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, the temperature over there right now in Barcelona is approximately 57 degrees.
It's just a little
so that's
cooler.
not too bad, not too bad. Coming from England, that's summer.
It's like a heat wave.
Yeah, it is going to be a little cloudy, but no precipitation is expected. Winds are, basically nothing. You got 64% humidity, which again shouldn't be a bad thing. So weather-wise, Sean will be fine, and so should they. Should be a good turf because again, no rain, no precipitation, and they've had a streak of some pretty sunny days there. So the pitch should be fine.
Oh yeah.
So all right, let's go down the list here. We got Rennes. That should be interesting. They're playing. I can't even pronounce the name of the team they're playing.
Yeah, so they're playing Shakhtar Donetsk from Ukraine, and Shakhtar Donetsk, they're a really good team, but they just lost one of their better players, Mikhailo Mudryk, who was one of the Chelsea, one of the players that got caught in like the Chelsea net. They just kind of like threw it out there and saw who we can pick up. Just grab whoever's out there. But
didn't do much good yesterday, did it?
You know what? It didn't do much good, but I have to say, watching the game, Chelsea is probably going to destroy them in 2 weeks back at Stamford Bridge. Because, like, honestly, they looked good. They looked like the better team. And Dortmund won 1-0, but it was really unfortunate for Chelsea because they had almost scored on the corner kick. They literally hit the post.
Oh.
And then the ball got kicked out of the box, and a Dortmund player, I think his name was Adeyemi, nastiest goal I've ever seen. He ran basically from his own box all the way, and then it was just him one-on-one with Enzo Fernandez, and he tricked him because he slowed down like he was going to pass to the guy coming up on the right, and then he kicked the ball forward and sprinted around Enzo. And by then, the goalie had come out to meet him because there was nothing else the goalie could do. And again, he tapped it to the left of the goalie, and it was just like a little tap. And so it was a counterattack goal off the corner kick. Chelsea almost scored, but yeah, I think Chelsea probably goes back home and wins that. There's a few of these first leg, the teams that won in the first leg for Champions League, I think will go home and might even lose in the next leg. So if you're looking to bet, if you're looking for some value, you know, Chelsea to advance right now is probably going to be at plus money.
Okay. Billy's got a question for us, and that's, what's up, guys? Good to see you, Bill, as always. Don't think the line for Union Berlin is disrespectful, and Man U, that's I have today. So
Yeah,
sounds like he's going with Sean on the Man U thing.
Yeah. So I'll touch on the Man U since we talked about the game already, but yeah, like I said,
good to see you, buddy.
This Barcelona team is very defensively sound. It's going to be extremely difficult for Manchester United to score in this match. And considering it's a two-leg thing, Manchester United doesn't have to go out there and push for a win. Like if it's getting late and they're holding Barcelona down to like a 0-0 draw, they'll take it because they'll want to go home with a chance to just win at home. But I still think like Man United, they don't score a lot on the road. If you look at their last few road games, they have been scoring like 2-3 goals, but all those goals are coming in the last 10 minutes of the match. It's really a lot of late goals for them away from home. And I think they're going to struggle, obviously, on the Barcelona defense. But I don't think Barcelona, if you look, the 4 of their last 6, so they're in great form right now. They've won, I think, 8 straight or something like that, 10 straight. But their last 6 matches, 4 of their last 6 have been 1-0 wins for Barcelona. So, like I said, they can win games by scoring 1 goal and shutting it down defensively. So I don't know about the both teams to score, but I do agree with Union Berlin. They're extremely disrespected. This is one of the best teams in Germany right now. Ajax just sold half their team. They're absolutely in disarray. I know they're at home here, so I don't expect Union. I would almost look at an under in that game just because, you know, Union doesn't score, but they don't give up goals. So, yeah, that one's one to watch for sure. I think if you're looking to take the double chance with Union, you definitely have some value there just because this is one of the best teams in Germany. And again, like Barcelona, they're one of those defensively sound teams. Ajax just weakened their team in the winter transfer window, and now they're going to struggle to score goals against a good defense here. So I could see Union being, if you want to take the +0.5, absolutely.
It sounds like we know where we're going on that one. How about let's go down the list here. Salzburg and Roma.
Yeah, so you know that's a classic one because Red Bull Salzburg is a really good team. You know, they've owned Austria for the last few years pretty much, and they're leading Austria once again. And again, this is one of those teams that I touched on earlier where, you know, they destroy their league and they've only given up like 9 goals in 20 matches this year, right? So because there's not a lot of strong teams other than like the top 3, like there's Las Linz and there's a few other good ones too. Sturm Graz is decent, but Sturm Graz is actually the best home team in Austria this year, better than Salzburg. But yeah, Salzburg, they're a team that I think, you know, so they're dropped down from Champions League, and they didn't do terrible in Champions League, but a lot of draws. And this was a Roma side where, you know, Jose Mourinho really likes to stress not losing games before we can win games.
Yeah.
So again, Roma being on the road here in especially in another country, like they can't even go across Italy and play well. You want them to go to Austria now and play well, right? So this is one where I see them coming with the defensive Mourinho style. Don't let them score. We'll go win it back in the capital. So
They're
Yeah.
against the Von Trapp family this afternoon. So yeah.
There's a lot of like Chelsea yesterday. Like a lot of people I saw were on Chelsea, and I was like, this team can't even go across England. They can't even. Never mind England. They can't even go across London and win.
I was gonna say they can't go across town.
Like they literally can't go to the other side of London and win, and you want them to go now into Germany and win a game in a hostile environment. But they did look good. I'll give them credit.
Yeah, good luck with that.
They looked dangerous. They'll be dangerous at home.
Here's one that the names are good. Now, whether the teams are good, that's different. But the names are, you have Juventus and Nets. Okay. Those are two quality programs, but is it a quality game today?
Yeah, so this is Nant's side, they're in the Europa League. And the only reason they're in Europa League is not even because they earned a spot last year with in their standings. They finished, I think, 9th or 10th in the standings. So this is not a Europa caliber team. They won one of the cups. I forget which one. I think it was the Coupe de France, but they won one of the cup matches, or they won one of the cups, which gave them the entry into Europa League. So really, I don't like this Nance team. I don't like them. I don't like them on the road, especially in another country. Again, one of these teams that they can't go across France and play. You want them now to go into Italy. Juventus, I gotta say, Juventus is a team I've watched their last few games, and it looks like they're really starting to click as a team.
You've been on Juventus for a while now.
Yeah, I didn't like them at the beginning of the year. I didn't think they were a good team, but the last few games they're starting to click, and it's tough for them because they got the 15-point deduction in Serie A this year. Plus Napoli's running away with it. So the best they can hope for in the league is just to get back into like a European spot. I don't know if they can make Champions League with the current situation. I don't know if they're going to have enough matches to get up there. It all depends, I guess, on what the Lazios and the Atalantas do, how many points they drop and allow Juventus to come back in. But I think because of that points deduction, this is going to be a competition that they really focus on, because Juventus, apart side, they're probably one of the best teams left in the competition right now, other than, Barcelona, Man United, Arsenal, who's already through to the next round. But you got to think Barcelona or Man United, one of them is getting kicked out in this round too. So if you're Juventus, you're sitting there, you're in a competition where you're probably one of the top 5 strongest teams in the competition. This is something I think you focus on, because you can't win the Serie A title, but you can bring home a trophy in Europa League this year. And that might be something for them to build on as a team and say, hey, we got a points deduction and we're not going to be able to make it back into Champions League in the league or win the title because Napoli's running away. But we can go out and win a trophy in Europa League this year and get a bid to Champions League with Europa win. So it's like, even though we got the 15 points deduction, we still have a way into Champions League if we win Europa League. So I think this is something for them to rally around as a team and really focus on.
Which is, that's kind of what you want, right? You want to be able to rally around something and say, hey, look, we got a good team. Let's go.
And you need to keep the players motivated, right? Because they don't want to play knowing, well, we got 15 points deducted and our season's over. But if you can rally them and say, guys, we still have a chance here, okay? Yeah, the league is shot. We won't win the title, but we can go take a Europa trophy and get back into Champions League for next year. It's like we're not dead in the water just yet. So that's definitely
have a pulse.
That's definitely something for the team to build on and say, okay, we can do this. We just have to rally together and make a deep run in Europa.
You got Monaco playing this afternoon as well.
Yeah, Monaco, they looked good. I had them against PSG. I was expecting a weakened PSG lineup in that one, so it was pretty good. And I don't think, because obviously Monaco played Thursday, so even if they started, which they did, they started a really good lineup in that match. They did actually rest some players, like Embolo didn't start. They had Ben Yedder start over Embolo. But yeah, this is a team that, they rested some players, and even with their starters playing in that game against PSG, they had quite a few days, because that was on Saturday, I think. So they've had about 4 days of rest now.
Right.
They'll be in good shape here. Leverkusen, is good at home though.
Okay.
They're not a great team. They're up there in Germany. They're definitely like a top 5 team right now, but they're not like, I don't know what to make of this team. This is probably one I'm going to stay off, but it's one where like I would lean to Monaco because I know they play well on the road. Believe it or not, they do. They have to score more sometimes because they give up more goals. I might even look at an over in that game. Because I know Leverkusen's good for some goals at home, and Monaco is not just going to lay down and die here. So this might be one that actually goes over. But yeah, that's probably one I would watch to see what happens, and then maybe bet Monaco at home in the next leg, depending on where we're at by then.
How things play out, yeah. Seville versus PSV, not to be confused with G.
This Sevilla team is absolute trash. They're one of the worst in Spain. And this was like a team that finished.
Now don't hold back. Tell me what you really think about it.
This is a team that finished in the top 4 for the last decade in La Liga, and they're absolute trash this year. They've lost everything. They're in the bottom half of the table. They're just having a terrible year now.
They can't find the bus.
They're starting to turn things around recently. Slowly. They're playing
very slowly.
They're playing better. They're playing better defensively as well. At the beginning of the season, they were just getting destroyed, 3-4 goals a game, but now they're playing better defensively. And this PSV team, they got fleeced in the winter transfer window.
Right.
Obviously, they lost their guy, Cody Gakpo. So, I don't want any part in PSV. That's for sure. But I don't know if I want to touch Sevilla either. That just might be one of those,
it's one of those games where the best thing to do is not to bet.
Yeah, you put 2 trash cans on the floor and you say, fight it out.
Right. Somebody do it. Anything now we know that you're definitely not on anything in the afternoon, the late afternoon, the 3 o'clock games. But anything out there that even vaguely remotely might be good.
Vaguely remotely might be good for the 3. The Sporting team interests me because they've been very good at home in Portugal. They've been a very good home team. They're at home here, and they've been crushing like good teams. They beat Braga like 4-0, 5-0 or something. Braga got a red card in that one, but it was 2-0 before they got the red card. So it wasn't like it was gonna help them. Not getting the red card was gonna help them win the game. They were already losing by then. It just sealed their fate at that point. But yeah, Michelin, I don't know what this team is. If you look at Denmark, it's the weirdest thing. Michelin's in like 10th, or no, not 10th, but they're in the middle of the table. I forget how many teams are in Denmark, but they're in the middle of the table. And the top 3 teams in Denmark right now are Copenhagen in 3rd. You got Viborg in 2nd and Nordsjælland in 1st. I don't know how they're leading the table. This was a team that was fighting relegation last year. So these Danish teams, yeah, I don't trust them. I don't trust Michelin on the road. Michelin was also terrible in the Champions League qualifiers at the beginning of the year. They were they were bad. And then even when I think they may have gotten, what was it, to the Europa group stage. They weren't even that good in their Europa group stage. Like, they were lucky to make it here. They were in kind of like a crapshoot of a group with Lazio, Sturm Graz, and Feyenoord. And it was like going into the last match day, all the teams had the same record. So it was one of those things where like you could replace Michelin with a Lazio or a Sturm Graz or something, and it was kind of like getting the same team in there. So Sporting might be a team I look at here, maybe on a 1-0 or even the -1.5, because they score a lot when they're at home and they don't give up goals. And Michelin, I don't know what this team is, and they're not doing well in Denmark right now, which isn't a strong league. So
not a good thing to know. There you go. Interesting. It's one of those things where you say to yourself, part of me wants to do something here, but then the other part says, that's not really the wise thing. The wise thing might be to sit back and watch, golf in Los Angeles this afternoon.
Exactly. If you really, for those kinds of games, like if I really want to play it, $10 parlay, we'll string a few of them together, a few of those iffy ones together. And then, if they all pan out, then you win a big buck. But yeah, as for single betting, I try to stick to, the games I really think this is solid play. I have solid reasoning for it.
And sometimes that doesn't always, even under those circumstances, it doesn't always work out. But
yeah,
in this one, I keep looking down the list. You're right. There's nothing more spending any time on.
Yeah, there's like these. Then you could talk about the Conference League, but so for example, this first game I see Bodo Glimt and Lech Poznan. Bodo Glimt, their season is over. It ended before the World Cup, so you're getting a team that not only they went into the World Cup and had the break, but they didn't come back and play games. They don't have a league that has started yet. So it's one of those things like, do you want to bet? Like Bodo Glimt, yeah, they're good at home. They were good at home last year when they were playing in the league, but it's been months now. Do you want to take a chance on a team that hasn't played since November?
Jeez, no.
Yeah, so it's not ideal, that's for sure. Karabag is another. Karabag, their league is still going. They're not off or anything, but again, before the World Cup, they were crushing teams in their league. They owned it. They were great at home too. And again, today, they're recently in the month of February, they haven't been playing well, and in January, they haven't been playing great. They're not blowing teams out at home. They're drawing more, and so the plus 125 is intriguing. Because I know Ghent hasn't been great in Belgium, and you're asking them to travel to Azerbaijan for this game, which is pretty much Asia. So trust me, Karabag has a great home advantage because it's not a fun place to travel to. And there's a few things like Zenit, when they were still allowing Russia to play. Zenit St. Petersburg was a terrible place to go to for Champions League teams. Like they always performed poorly because it's a tough place to travel, St. Petersburg, I guess. Yeah, so that's one. I haven't looked into it, but Trabzonspor looks like there's might be some value on it in the Conference League just because I don't really like Basel. They're not good on the road. They're not a great team in Switzerland. It's one of those teams where you see them on the road and you don't want to play them. And I know Trabzonspor is one of the better Turkish teams, and they're very good at home. And they're one of those teams that are defensively sound. They don't give up a lot of goals. So, and my AEK Larnaca. That's the thing. That's a Cyprus team. So the Conference League, you can find value in it, but a lot of these games, as you can tell, like Azerbaijan, Cyprus, these aren't the sexy teams. They're not the high profile matches like Barcelona, Man United, right? So you really got to know the teams if you're going to bet on them. But
yeah, this is one of those, deep dive situations.
Yeah. But I do follow a lot of those leagues. I didn't look at the Conference League because there's a lot of Europa games, and there was a few I liked, so I don't need to give out all
no
these.
No need to pull something out of the pocket on this one.
Yeah, the Conference League, and it'll get better. The Conference League will get better because as we get deeper into it, it'll be the better teams that are left over.
They'll be sorting themselves out.
Yeah, I think there might actually even be another drop down from Europa. I'm not 100% sure though. I'd have to check that. So they might even get another influx of Europa teams, and if that's the case, everybody you see playing today, you can just cross off the list.
Well, basically, it's kind of like the soccer version of the NIT. You just keep you can't make the NCAA, no problem. We'll find you someplace to play.
Yeah, where there's an invitational around.
Yeah, there's somewhere.
You'll get invited somewhere.
The Saudis will come up with a pot full of cash and throw it out there. So
that's basically what the conference league is. It's like okay, Europa League's not big enough, and there's all these teams that are decent from all these countries. And it's like they should deserve a shot too. So that's basically what the conference league is.
And they didn't make the Champions League. So what the heck? Who's left over?
There's a lot of those like Georgia is never getting a bid to the Champions League. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless Dynamo Sabili or something decides to go on a streak, win Conference League, win Europa League the next year, and then win Champions League, then it's going to be like, okay, got a Georgian team that won Champions League here. But yeah, I don't.
You got a better chance with Sporting Atlanta.
Yeah, Sporting Atlanta. Seriously,
Yeah.
they're not bad at home. Not a bad team at home, but
wow. I got some odds on Tiger, which is kind of fun today.
yeah, I got that boost I told you about that I'm
not
gonna play just to make the cut.
All right,
plus 200.
Yeah. Okay. So to win, he's plus 1250. I'm sorry, plus 12,500.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound right. 1250 is like one of the favorites.
Right. Here's something that I found very interesting. He's made 14 career starts, at Riviera. He's made the cut 11 times. He's had 10 top 4 finishes. He's finished second twice. He's never won.
Really?
Never won at that tournament.
Okay, so
not a it's one of those courses where I talked about yesterday. It's not really a Tiger course, but it is what it is.
And that's the thing, right? Like if he can't win, if he's never won there in his prime,
right?
How do you expect him to go there and have a chance now?
I think that's probably why it's 12,500.
Yeah, because I look at that and I'm like, well, if he can't win when he's at his best, you want me to take a chance on him to make the cut when I know he could shoot 8 over today alone?
Yeah, and yesterday was not. Thank goodness for him. Yesterday was not a day that they were going to count. The prop bets to finish in the top 5 is 2,200. Top 10 is 1,100. Top 20 is 450. These are all pluses. Making the top 40, 150. Making the cut plus 175. Missing the cut minus 250.
Making the cut is plus 175. So what? DraftKings is giving you an extra 25 on that boost.
Actually, this is BetMGM, but yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, but still, it's going to be roughly.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm just saying.
Same everywhere. You're giving me an extra plus 50, like at most, and then you want me to take a chance on this guy to make the cut. Oh my god. F minus DraftKings, just like we gave FanDuel the F minus for the kick of destiny. F minus on the Tiger boost. What the hell is that about? Trying to sucker me in.
Well, right now, the odds-ons. John Rahm at plus 800. Rory at plus 800. Scotty Scheffler at plus 1,000. Xander Schauffele at plus 1,700. Justin Thomas plus 1,700. By the way, DraftKings, please make your stats readable. It's incredibly tough. Justin Thomas plus 1,700. Max Harona plus 1,900, I think.
That's actually how I feel about the Premier League's thing when they do that drop down that says no room for racism. I wish they picked a better font because I don't have the greatest eyes, and I was sitting on my couch and it looked like squiggles to me. I was like, is that what that says? Why would they pick a legible font? Well, pick something better, please.
I'm sitting here looking at a 22-inch monitor, and so it's not like I'm looking at it over my phone. So I should be able to read it at the very least, and I always had to put my face into the screen to get it.
Same. Some places pick the dumbest fonts though. Like I wish it was just something you could read, right?
And it's a black background and a lime green number. So you're like, my eyes are going, what the hell did they do?
Actually, yeah, I think I know the layout that you're talking about. It's terrible. Some of these layouts. I stopped using Caesars because it hurt my eyes. The layout. I was like, oh, I can't look at this.
Yeah, any winnings you might get from them, you have to go get LASIK surgery.
And then so the best was, so I was like, let me try the dark mode, and then I see they have a light mode, and I'm like, your normal sportsbook is white. What could the light mode possibly be?
It's the projections on the sun.
I was gonna say strobing it on my face.
Right.
Like, what is that about?
Crap! What are you trying to do? You're trying to kill me.
The light mode. Really, your default is white, and you need a light mode.
Yeah. Anyway, well, it's there's a whole bunch of guys all lumped in a pack there on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know why
It's going to be like a Max Homa. Didn't you say it's always like, it's like a random person?
Or Max or Makawa. I mean,
I was thinking Morikawa, right? Like he always comes out of the wilderness and wins like the weirdest tournament.
This dude just flies in, drops it down, wins. And then, when you get to the warm part of the season, he's nowhere to be found.
That's what it is, right? When no one's talking about him, it's like he wins he wins the most random tournament. He's like, I'm still here. And then he's like number 3 in the world for months, and the guy can't win anything.
Well, yeah, you look up, he just wins the John Deere Classic, right? You're like, okay. I didn't even know he was in the John Deere Classic.
Yeah, where were you the last 3 months?
I thought you took the month off, but I guess not. But yeah, he wins when you don't expect, that's for sure. And at places where you don't expect. So
maybe it'll be like a Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 4,000. He wasn't bad near the end of the season last year.
Yeah. I mean, this is a course that rewards people who hits the ball straight. And that's pretty much it. If you hit the ball straight and you're good with irons, you got a pretty good chance. I mean, putting goes without saying. I don't care what course you're on, you got to putt.
And you can use that to help you because you can look in. They have those stats. You can look into, okay, who loves hitting 400-yard bombs with their driver? I'm not taking you today because you're going to be in the trees.
Right. Or you can fly the green.
Yeah, that too. There's some guys that just love to whack, and then there's other guys like me who can't hit the driver and just say, I'm never going to hit the driver.
Understood.
I'll hit an iron or a wood off the tee, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just don't put that driver back in the bag. I'm not using it. Might as well not even have it.
My friend actually asked me at one point because it got to I just started doing this summer because last year, 2 years ago, I spent the whole summer trying to correct my slice with the drive, and I could do it sometimes, but I couldn't get the technique right down. So at one point last year during the season, I was like, at 3 games into the year, I was like, I'm just not using the driver anymore. I'm tired of losing balls in the tree, right? So then I was great the rest of the season because my 3-wood would put me in the middle of the fairway and it would go at least 200 yards. So
what more do you want?
Exactly. So I would at one point, my friend even asked me, he was like, why do you still have the driver in the bag? Like, why do you even bring it with us when we go? And I was like, that's a good question.
It comes from the pride of looking like a golfer.
It's part of the set and it matches the bag.
Right. You don't want to not. Come on. It's a match set. You don't want to screw it up.
Exactly. Right?
You're allowed 14. You're allowed 14 clubs. I'm not using those others. So just, it's not taking up that much.
Exactly. My irons only go up to 5. Okay. Right. So I've got to fill the holes with other things like 64.
You don't have a 9-iron?
No, I mean, like, it doesn't go past 5. Like, I don't have a 4. Some of my buddies have like a 4 and a 3 iron in their sets, and I don't have like any of that. I have a 5 iron to 9 iron pitch, and then a sand wedge or a 56, whatever you want to call it.
Right, you don't want to go with
it's a 56 to me, and then and then I have a 64 just for fun.
64.
The 56 is for in the bunker. The 64 is for the other side of the bunker when you just want to like pop it over the bunker.
Land it on the green.
Exactly. That's what that is for.
What's that? Okay, so here's another thing that you need to watch when you're looking at Riviera. As we said yesterday, it's on the Pacific right there. Watch the wind because the wind is a crosswind. And that's, guys who can play the ball low. McIlroy can play the ball low. So my guess would be that Rory might do well if it's a windy day.
Yeah.
And we ascertained that it's only going to be around 14, 15 miles an hour, which isn't bad. So he's not having that problem. But, this isn't a bad course for Rory. He's done well there before. But, we've already committed to Morikawa, so we just hang out with him. He could be the guy. You just don't know. Let's see. I'm going down here.
A Matt Fitzpatrick or something.
Jason Day is at plus 450. I'm sorry, plus 4,500.
I just want to touch on something for Bill here. For Bill, before we continue the golf talk.
What's up with you, Bill?
Yeah, so we talked about this game, Bill, and both teams to score not too bad. I was even thinking maybe the over in this one because I know you're good. You're going to get some goals from Leverkusen at home. That's where they play their best. And Monaco is not the kind of team that's going to lie down and die in this one. They're actually pretty good on the road. They tend to score more on the road, I find, than at home. They play better defensively at home, and then they go on the road and they can't play defensively, so they have to score. So that's one where, both teams to score, maybe even the over in that one. And the side I wouldn't know just because Leverkusen's better at home. I don't think they're a good team. And I think Monaco could probably advance from this, but I don't know if I want Monaco on the road here to get a win. But I would definitely look at the total. You're on the right track there. And then with the other one, this one here. So Sean's not going to like it, but his team's probably not going to win today. And they're probably not even going to score a goal. So win to nil is probably the way. And it's just the way Barcelona is set up. Like they've allowed 6 goals in 20 matches this year. You can't trust. If you play an over with Barcelona, you basically have to hope they score 3 goals themselves. At this point is what it's come to, because it's not often they allow a goal. And I don't trust Man United. They're missing a lot of key pieces. I know Lisandro Martinez is going to be out. They're missing Anthony still. Another midfielder that's on the tip of my tongue that I can't remember. But they're gonna have some midfield and some defensive. Some players missing there. So, like I said, they'll be trying to cling to this match and get back home for the second leg with a draw or something, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And then the other one you wanted, Bodo Glimt, I actually did talk about that. Bodo Glimt hasn't played since November. So I know they're a good team, Bill. They're good at home. They score a lot, but they haven't really played. They've played, I think, like 3 matches since before the World Cup because their season is over. They're in their off season right now. So it's not a team I trust. I don't want them because there's not a lot to go off of Bodo Glimt lately.
What's going on tomorrow? Are there any big games tomorrow?
No, there probably won't even be a lot because now that Europa and Champions League's back, it'll probably be like you'll get the crappy La Liga Friday game.
Right.
And you'll get like maybe the crappy Italian one. And and then it'll be all Saturday and Sunday. Like,
right.
Let's see. Yeah, Premier League is all Saturday. Let's see. Spain, Girona and Almeria tomorrow. And then what do we got in Italy? Sassuolo and Napoli tomorrow.
Didn't Napoli play early this week?
No. Okay, so Napoli, because the other half of the Champions League matches are next Tuesday and Wednesday. So Napoli didn't play this week. Same with Man City. That's why they did the Man City Arsenal game yesterday. Okay. So I guess what they're doing here is, since Napoli's in Champions League, they probably play on the Tuesday. They're giving them the Friday match, which means they actually going to have some rest for that Champions League match against, I forget who they're matched up against. I know they're going to destroy who they're playing, but son, I can't remember now.
Hang on a second, I'll get it for you.
I can't remember who they're playing now. I know Liverpool's with Real Madrid next week.
I got it here. Yeah.
Does Man City play Porto?
All right. Inter Milan plays Porto.
Inter Milan plays.
Wednesday.
That'll be
You
an
said
interesting.
Napoli plays Frankfurt.
Oh, okay. You know what? I don't know if they destroy Frankfurt, but I think they get past Frankfurt. They should.
It's actually a 3:00 game on Tuesday.
Yeah, next week's were way better than this week's.
Inter and Porto play on Wednesday. Chelsea and Dortmund don't play until February, until March. Sorry. Okay, the 21st, next Tuesday, Liverpool and Real Madrid. Leipzig and Man City play on the 22nd.
Leipzig and Man City. Yeah, next week's are way better. I didn't like yesterday's or Tuesday's matches as much.
So there you go. Then Chelsea plays on the 7th. Chelsea plays Dortmund. And also 7th, Benfica plays Club Brugge.
Chelsea plays Dortmund. They're slightly favored in that game, and you can get them at plus 110 to qualify right now. I think they're probably going to destroy Dortmund. Dortmund was hanging on to that match by a thread yesterday. I'm happy they won because it cashed my bet, but the entire time I was sitting there saying, oh, they're going to get destroyed in 2 weeks when they go back to Chelsea for the second leg.
Yeah, Chelsea Dortmund on March 3rd or 7th. 3 p.m. The other 3 p.m. game is Benfica and Club Brugge. Tottenham and Milan play on the 8th. Bayern plays PSG. That's a big one.
Yeah, that is
on the 8th.
That's another one that, I think from what we saw the last 20 minutes when Mbappe was put on the field, again, might be one of those where the home team goes back with the lead, but they're not going to keep the lead because they even mentioned it when I was watching the game. The commentators mentioned how Mbappe destroyed Bayern in Germany the last time they faced the Champions League. So,
what are the chances you think of that we see both the superstars on PSG that day?
I think we have to. I think if they want any shred of keeping their spot and advancing in Champions League, they put everybody on the field and stop it. Just play the damn game and win it because you have too much talent to be the way you've been playing.
There's the old Steve Spurrier, the old the University of Florida football coach, used to say, there's a time when you put your foot on a person's throat and hold it there. And he said, as far as we're going into this game, why did they beat them by 4 touchdowns? And I guess because we had to. He said, you have to make a statement sometime.
Exactly.
And, I want people to fear us. And they're not going to fear us if, after we get up by a touchdown or 2, we pull all of our guys off the field.
Exactly. And that's why it's like, if you want to be taken seriously as a threat in Champions League, you put everybody on the field and go win the game in Germany.
And then you get on the plane and fly home. And if nobody's talking to anybody, that's their problem.
Exactly. That's fine. Whatever you want after the game, as long as you go out there and play. Because you know what? Having Messi on the bench and Mbappe on the field or vice versa is only going to hurt your team because you're leaving talent on the bench and you shouldn't be. You need as much talent on the field as you can get.
You're also messaging. I don't want these 2 guys on the same field at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, the 2 guys who scored between them, who won the World Cup, and one lost, but one won. All the goals were scored by 2 guys.
Yeah.
And they're your guys. Why would you put somebody on the bench? I mean, it makes no sense. Yeah. They don't have to play the same position. They don't even play the same position.
Yeah, and you touched on a great point. Like teams aren't going to be intimidated by you because they're going to come in saying, oh, well, we're either going to get Mbappe or Messi. Can't get both.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so we only got to prepare for one of them. And PSG is a different team with Mbappe. His speed is just incredible. His speed changed the last 20 minutes of that match.
Yeah, Messi's finesse, using his, many skills that he's honed over the years. And to me, Mbappe is just pure energy.
Yeah.
He comes on the field everybody jumps. You know, you got to pay attention to him. You said speed, absolutely. But at the same time, the guy's powerful. The guy is physical. You know, you don't want to play. I mean, he will wear your ass out all day long.
Yeah, he was wearing down that Bayern defense, and it was
And
almost
only for 20 minutes, you said.
And that's what I mean. It like in a way, it was a smart strategy because 20 minutes. That 20 minutes was bad. They scored 2 goals and they were both taken away. One really wasn't a goal; it was offside right from the start. But the other one was offside by a toenail, and they had to review it. So this is what I mean: is he changed that game. His speed changes the game. And yeah, you're right. Messi's all about the touches. He's all about the touches. But yeah, they saved his energy, and it was good because then you had the Bayern defense that had been out there for 70 minutes, and then you got this fresh Mbappe. Good luck stopping him, but it doesn't help when you're down 1-0. And also, Mbappe came on around the 60th minute, but he didn't make a big impact in the first few minutes because he needed some time to get into the game. You got to start this guy. You got to start him. And trust me, if you play him from the beginning of the match, he'll have a different impact on the entire match. It'll be much harder for Bayern.
In watching him in the World Cup, right? It didn't seem to bother him to play 120 minutes. I mean, whatever it was. He still had the speed. He still had all the stuff. It's not like, he only has 20 good minutes.
Yeah, and then he was even pissed off that he got rested in the one match against I think it was Tunisia.
Right.
And he even because the day before he went to the coach and said, "You're not resting me. I want to play that game." And the coach basically told him no.
Right. No. I mean,
okay, you
sit down.
Yeah, let some other guys get some work. We need to save you. We don't need injuries. Yes. And then look what happened to Gabriel Jesus. So bad things happen.
Bad things happen when you're not paying attention. No, I think that's the case. And the other thing is you want to see. If you're the star, if you don't want to be on the bench, I mean, if you don't want to be on the field, then you don't want to. You might as well not even show up.
Exactly.
I mean, players want to play. So,
he wants to play. He just doesn't want to play with Messi.
Yeah, I think for the amount of money the two guys are getting, and knowing that, I mean, I would think that you want to hoist a Champions League trophy the same year that you guys both guys made it to the final of the World Cup.
Yeah.
There's, some pride in being the best players.
I mean, technically, they each won one of the last 2 World Cups.
Right.
Okay. Like I said, Mbappe shouldn't be so mad. I know they gave it to Messi, but you got to be thinking, at the same time, you got to think in your head, I won one 4 years before you. And I was 19 when I did it. I'm going to win so many more, and you're going to be retired by the next World Cup, right? So, why can't you just have that mindset? Okay, let him have his one because I beat him to it, and I'm only 19, and I'm going to have plenty of World Cups playing still. Right. So, I got tons. I broke Pele's record of goals. I have so much ahead of me. Why do we have to focus on the one World Cup that was behind me now?
Right. Well, I mean, you look at it and go, the totality of the career, right, is, Messi's looking in the rearview mirror and Mbappe's looking forward.
No, he's not. That's the thing. He's not looking forward. He's looking in the rearview mirror. That's the problem.
Yeah, stop it. Turn the mirror around.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need the rearview mirror. You're 23. You're younger than me, for God's sake.
As a matter of fact, rip the damn mirror out of the car. Just put it away. I guess nowadays it's more of looking at the camera in the car that shows you.
Yeah, seriously. But that's the thing. He just needs to focus on the future because I don't know if he realizes that you're going to be better than Messi. You're going to be probably one of the greatest players to ever play the game. So why don't you just play the game and stop with the drama?
It's funny. After the World Cup, I had more people come to me and talk about how do you pronounce this guy's name? Mbappe. And they're like, that's cool. We like the name. But they loved watching him play. And these are casual fans who didn't know anything about it. But now everybody's, a fan of this guy. Yeah. They're running for PSG jerseys. They're going out, trying to get wherever they can find. And, you know, when you start building a brand like that, you know, what more you want? You know, you definitely want to look ahead.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that there was times, and we'll make this analogy to Michael Jordan. There were times when Jordan would sit in the locker room after a game and just, you know, drive himself nuts about what they didn't do right. And Phil Jackson would come in and say, you know, go home, go to bed, and just not even worry that game was playing. He said, because tomorrow we got another game, another day, and there's no reason why you can't rewrite the script. But don't think about what happened yesterday. I don't even want you to look at the tape. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Some games you just gotta, forget about it. Okay,
Mhm.
it was an off night. Put it behind you and let's
What if
go.
you played your best and lost, right? Some guys don't take losing well at all. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that any professional sports athlete does, but you have to also compartmentalize and say, okay, that was last night. Tonight's tonight, and whatever tonight is, I have the ability to rewrite the script.
Yeah. And that's what Mbappe needs to do for the second leg, because right now he's got to look at it like, we didn't play our best because I wasn't on the field from start to finish, and we still only lost 1-0. We're lucky to only be down 1 goal. You better start the second leg, start to finish.
Right.
I know he was also dealing with an injury, to be fair. They kind of threw him out there.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to have everybody on the field in the second leg. It is very important because they can do it. He did it 2 years ago in Germany, destroyed them.
Right.
So he knows he's done it before.
Right.
And he's going to have fond memories walking back into that building. So
of destroying them again. Yeah.
There's no reason why PSG can't go win 2-0, 3-1, and win it there. There's no reason why they can't do that.
And crush and go on. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's that's where Phil got the nickname of Zen Master. Was he would take and he would put he would go out and buy these books and put them on the bus. You need knowing, every guy's seat got a book from Phil about different aspects of philosophy and thinking and the proper way to put yourself in a mindset. And half these guys are like, what the hell is he doing? And Phil's like, look, I want you to understand, the moment. You're in the moment. You're not in the past or in the future. You're in the moment. And whether that worked or not, I don't know, but it certainly didn't do badly for him. So it is what it is, right?
Yep.
So all right. So we'll get out of here today, and we will watch. There's plenty of games on Paramount Plus today to watch early games, and then flip over to NBC and Peacock and watch some golf this afternoon from Los Angeles. And we'll see if Tiger can cash that 12,500. What's the odds on that would be what? You bet $100 and you get 12,500 for every 100.
Yeah, plus your 100 back.
Well, yeah.
But at that point, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, okay, fine. He's a wash on that one, but yeah.
Right? It's like when you bet 20 to make 20, you want that 20 back. But when you bet 100 to make 12,000, then it's
right.
Take
that as that's a you're giving the chip to the woman who dealt you the cards.
Yeah, but it's even $10 is like 1,000.
Jeez.
So that's what I mean.
I wouldn't do it, but yeah, is after 14 years of 14 plays on that course, and the Bionic Man, I'm not gonna, even if it were $100, $50, whatever, I still think that wouldn't necessarily be a good investment.
Yeah, well, that's why I was looking at Matt Fitzpatrick, because he's plus 4,000, was playing well near the end of last season. So, maybe he comes out good, and that's $10 is 400. So why not?
Yeah, and the other thing too on that is that you've got a lot of those guys haven't played. They didn't play in Hawaii, so they maybe played a little bit. Maybe they played, over in San Diego. Maybe they played in Phoenix. But a lot of guys don't start until everybody hits the mainland. And so there's only a couple, 3 or 4 tournaments before you get to, to Genesis. So we'll see. But it should be fun. It's a fun course to watch, and it's a fun tournament every year. They always have competitive stuff. So we will see what we will see, and we'll see if Sean is. I don't know where Sean will be tomorrow. I guess he will be on his way back to England.
Back in the clouds.
Back in the clouds, right? Back in the dark, dingy Game of Thrones land that he's headed back to.
What did he say yesterday? The clouds were on the ground.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he's not wrong. That's what fog is, but it's a funny way to say it. The clouds
London
were on
fog,
the ground.
yeah.
Isn't that's like a tee up here? Tim Hortons sells a London fog.
There you go. It is a tee up.
Go get your London fog.
Yeah,
and your English breakfast.
Right. After you eat an English breakfast, if I were to eat an English breakfast, I wouldn't eat lunch or dinner.
I never understood that. I'm like, what is an English breakfast tea? What?
I'm sorry?
It's a tea up here, English breakfast.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. So I never understood. I'm like, what is an English breakfast tea supposed to be? Crumpets?
I don't know. It's
crumpets and eggs.
A traditional English breakfast is eggs, sausages, beans, toast.
Beans on toast.
Beans. Well, you have the choice. You put them on the toast, or you can put them on the side.
That's where that comes from. It's an English breakfast. Okay.
Jam and or your toast if you don't want to put the beans and the jam. But that I wouldn't do. But
the beans and the jam, just making a sandwich with that toast.
A very rebel. And let's see. So yeah, that's that and a cup of tea and glass of milk, and if you're lucky, some orange juice, you're good to go. So
I guess my English breakfast tea tastes like egg and sausage.
If it does, you need to change your filter.
Maybe some beans too.
Oh God! All right. Well, before we start on what an English lunch is or high tea, I think it's time we should move on. So until tomorrow, everybody. I'm Jim. He's Amedeus. Have fun. Enjoy your soccer this afternoon at Paramount Plus here in the U.S. I assume, what is it in England? I mean, in Canada.
In Canada, it's on DAZN today.
Okay.
DAZN.
Yeah. DAZN. DAZN.
Yeah. I used to call it DAZN, but somebody corrected me over the years. Apparently, it's DAZN.
It's DAZN. I remember the guy who started it. We first started, we talked about it, and he said, yeah, I thought it was a cool name. It's like, yeah, but it's spelled weird.
I know. I thought it was DAZN for the longest time. And my buddy's like, you mean DAZN? I was like, wow. I was like, where is the O and the E in there? DAZN.
There you go. So anyway, until we meet again tomorrow at 9 a.m., we'll see if Sean shows up, whether he'll be happy from a Man U win or whether he'll be stuck in the clouds with Man U loss.
If Man United loses, Sean, just don't come on tomorrow.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll see on Monday, Sean. Maybe that'd be a good idea. So, all right, boys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a nice day, and until tomorrow, Amedeus, enjoy yourself.